Hello, my name is Susan Trone, a master gardener from Sussex County, Delaware. Welcome to our New to Delaware workshop. With so many people moving to Delaware, we wanted to help make the transition to a new place and a new climate easier. Delaware has two distinct regions. The northern Piedmont region is only 5%, while the coastal plains occupies 95% of our land mass. Sussex County is in the coastal plain. In case you haven't noticed, the coastal plain area is primarily flat with slow-moving streams and tidal areas. Most of us live in areas of sandy soil, but you may see a variety of soil types as you travel through the county. When we talk about soil structure, the three soil types you will mostly see in Sussex County are sand, loam, and clay. The differences between the three are defined by the size of the soil particles that affect the way water is drained and nutrients retained. When I lived in Maryland, we had clay throughout our garden. The small pore spaces of clay soil meant that I had to add peat moss or compost to improve the soil enough that it did not become a muddy area with every rainfall. This type of soil does, however, hold more nutrients, so that in itself is a plus. Sandy soil is very different from clay. This has larger particles and pore spaces, meaning that it drains quickly and holds fewer nutrients. Loam soil, as you can see in the picture, is what gardeners hope for. It has moderately sized pores, which provide a good balance of air and water in pore spaces. This picture is a demonstration of the structure of the different soil types. Small on the left is clay, large in the middle is sand, intermediate on the right is where gardeners would plant. Here they will find a good mixture of water and nutrient retention. While you cannot change the type of soil you have, there are many ways to improve it by adding amendments such as compost or mulch and tilling as necessary. We recommend all homeowners perform a soil test on their properties before doing any lawn or garden projects. Soil tests are available through the extension offices in all three counties for a cost of $22. The noted web address will tell you the proper technique for performing the test, as well as the website to order them. Delaware has two hardiness zones, 7 and 8. Zone 8A is a recent addition as we deal with a warmer climate in the southern coastal area of the state. 7A is found in the northern Piedmont area, while 7B is found in the southern Delaware area away from the coastline. Why do we look at hardiness zones? Knowing your hardiness zone gives you the best opportunity for success when you add new plants to your landscape. Plants come with an information tag, which provides you with the hardiness zones where it is most likely to succeed. Following this guideline means that your plant has the best chance of surviving our often extremes of weather without you having to work harder to protect them. As a gardener, you should also know the frost-free date for your area. May 10th, or Mother's Day, is the date for Sussex County. This is the time when there is only a 10% chance of frost, which could damage or kill fragile plants. We often have days or even a week in the early spring, which encourages us to get out early. Many of us have paid the price for starting too early. Mother's Day is the time for Sussex County. The chart presented is just an outline of frost-free dates. Remember, in Sussex County, think Mother's Day, then you can plant. Planting success has to do with a lot of factors other than temperature. One of those is location. A microclimate can be as simple as planting in a southern exposure or as complicated as planting within a walled area. Planting up against the side of your home, a fence, or trellis can also provide protection. The information tag on your new plant will tell you how much light it needs to thrive. You will also need to watch your established plants to make sure they are still getting adequate light. As your landscape grows, it may mean that some plants may need to be moved to a new location. Vegetables, we know, need 6 to 8 hours of sunlight to succeed. Anyone who has lived in Delaware for any length of time knows that excessive wind can take a toll on plants. Wind dries out the leaves faster than the roots can take up water. This is especially true for containers. Winter wind is especially harmful, and you may want to protect your vulnerable plants with purchased plant wraps or burlap. Sussex County has had unusually extreme weather conditions over the last 5 to 7 years, going from periods of long-standing rain to recent extreme drought, especially in the Lewis-Rehoboth coastal area. Landscape plants that are actively growing are very susceptible to excess water. However, signs of damage from too much water are easily mistaken for drought damage. If unsure, you can bring a sample to the County Extension Office for evaluation. Check your plant tags to learn suitable conditions for your plants. To prevent problems from too much or too little moisture, know your plants and your landscape. Do you have an area that holds water? This is where a plant that will tolerate wet feet will go. Also, monitor your irrigation system to ensure it is not overwatering or underwatering a section of your landscape. A good way to ensure your landscape is receiving adequate water is by using drip irrigation. It delivers water to the base of the plant, and the amount of water delivered can be controlled with a timer. In periods of drought, do not ignore established plantings and trees. They suffer also and are expensive to replace. What is a native plant? One that originated or occurs naturally in a region. The focus on native plants has led many nurseries to identify plants which are native to our area. Why do we encourage natives? Because they are more adapted to our local growing conditions. They are less susceptible to damage from insects or diseases. They provide a healthier ecosystem for plants and wildlife. They also help decrease the invasion by non-native plants. Here on this slide are examples of how to substitute a native plant for a more invasive non-native plant. You will find multiple brochures, websites, and fact sheets available through the local extension office or Master Gardener workshops, information tables, or fact sheets. This series was developed to assist homeowners with information on how to plan and execute a landscape that is attractive and welcoming to a variety of wildlife. You can find these books on our website. To encourage wildlife to visit your yard, you need to provide some basic necessities. These are as simple as bird baths and bird houses. I called my full-grown holly trees bird tenements, as so many birds nested in them. Here they find protection from the elements and predators, as well as food from the berries. Many different species seem to find their way there, although the most fun were the hummingbirds. Planting native plants will encourage many species of wildlife to visit your property. There is nothing better than looking up from your work to see a bee or a butterfly winging its way through the landscape that you have worked so hard to create. Hedges, snags, and brush piles are effective ways of protecting small animals and birds from predators. Having open flight paths so that birds are able to escape predators is also important. You also want to ensure house pets are not part of the problem. Bird houses are good, but need to be cleaned to ensure predators are not sneaking in. Medium-sized shrubs and small trees provide shelter as well. In my yard, a favorite place for the smaller birds was a line of azalea bushes along the back of my deck. There are many opportunities to provide food and water to birds and insects in your yard. Bird baths and drippers provide water to many birds. If you provide a shallow area by adding rocks, you may see butterflies sipping as well. Planting native plants will provide seeds and berries to provide food for your visitors. Planting a native species will help you provide the pollen, nectar, and edible seeds needed to sustain bees, butterflies, and birds in your landscape. No matter the size of your property, you can enjoy their visits as they appreciate your efforts to provide for them. This is an example of a butterfly coming to a milkweed plant. Here's a goldfinch looking for a tasty lunch. When preparing for gardening success, here are some important things to keep in mind. Plant natives whenever possible. They are going to be less demanding as they grow, since they are in their natural habitat. Get a soil test before you start. The information you get will allow you to prepare your beds correctly before you plant. 3 is plan for the size the plant will grow. This is a hard-earned lesson. Use the plant tag to establish the full growth, height, and width so your plants do not encroach on each other. 4, know the needs of your plant. Most need a pH between 6 and 7. However, blueberries need about 5. Number 5, keep it manageable. Know both your current and future abilities before you plant. Be a garden snoop. When you are planning a new garden, take the time to walk around your neighborhood or local towns to see what works in your area, what appeals to you, and what you feel would work in your landscape. Talk to other gardeners, or even sign up for a Master Gardener workshop. This is a garden I planted many years ago. As the maple tree grew, it became more shady, but has continued to thrive with only minor adjustments. This planting area draws people to the preferred entrance to the home. This is a garden I photographed in Savannah, Georgia. It is a great example of a welcoming entrance with plants appropriate for the size of the area and the shaded environment. This is another entrance in Savannah near the last one. Once again, the owner has chosen plants which will please anyone entering, while taking into consideration the limitations of a narrow, shady location. This booklet was prepared by experts in the Delaware Cooperative Extension. It is available through booklet form or can be downloaded from the internet. It was written to guide homeowners as they establish new lawns or rehab older ones. Lawns are popular with homeowners and especially HOAs. They have many advantages: safe play areas, great entertaining spaces, and they prevent land erosion and remove dust and mud. This is an example of a lawn which highlights the garden spaces around a home. There are basically 2 turf species used in southern Delaware. The first is tall fescue, a cool season grass that is wear resistant as well as drought, heat, and salt tolerant. It is a clump-type grass with few disease problems and requires less maintenance than other grasses. It is also somewhat shade tolerant. Zoysia grass is the only warm season grass grown in Delaware. Zoysia is temperature sensitive and stays brown late into spring and turns brown again at the first frost in fall. It requires less mowing than tall fescue, but is very aggressive. The Extension website is a good starting point for learning about turf grass mixtures. There are a number of Delaware landscape companies which are certified by the state to provide environmentally friendly best practices during the application of fertilizer to local lawns. These companies have also agreed to submit annual reports to the Delaware Nursery and Landscape Association. There is a process to follow if you want a good lawn. Taking shortcuts will cost you time and money. First, you need to remove all the existing debris and kill any existing weeds or plants that are not being saved. There are a variety of ways to do that. Once that is done, add 2 to 4 inches of organic mulch to your lawn area and till it in. Next, take a soil sample to see what additives may be needed. Add those according to recommendations from your soil sample after you have smoothed out your lawn area, ensuring a proper grade to prevent future water issues. To seed your new lawn, spread seed uniformly, going in at least 2 different directions. Cover the seed by raking it lightly. Mulch with straw or salt hay. You want to keep the area moist but not wet. If you are seeding into an existing lawn, make sure the seed is in contact with the soil to ensure germination. Always remember, seed between August 15th to September 30th for best results. To establish a new lawn with sod, prepare your lawn as you would do for seeding. Make sure the soil is lightly moistened before you start. Lay the sod, staggering the edges and making sure there is good contact between the pieces. Lightly tamp the soil and put topsoil on the seams to encourage rooting. Keep it moist. This picture is an example of how not to lay sod. It was laid on unprepared soil with grass and weeds growing up around the sod. The sod pieces were not staggered, and they were not laid together so the edges met. All in all, this is an expensive enterprise which will have a poor outcome. Once your seed is in or the sod is laid, keep the area moist. When the grass has reached a height of 3 inches, mow it with a sharp mower. You will want to fertilize your new lawn with 1 pound of nitrogen 3 to 4 weeks after planting. The best time to apply fertilizer to your lawn is in the fall. Do not fertilize between December 7th and February 15th, or when the soil is frozen. Skip spring applications following an aggressive fall fertilization. Skip summer application to maintain dormancy. Remember, fall is for fertilizing. Some lawn do's. You want to maintain your soil pH between 6 and 7. Number 2, fertilize responsibly. And that means get a soil test before you fertilize. Fertilize in the fall. And water an established lawn only when it's necessary. About every 7 to 10 days. Wait until the soil is dry. Water deeply and slowly over 2 to 4 hours to prevent runoff. Wet the soil to a depth of 4 to 6 inches. And set your sprinklers to avoid wasting water. Some lawn don'ts to keep in mind. Don't fertilize in late spring or summer. Don't fertilize without a soil test. Don't overwater. Don't not adjust your sprinklers for your lawn area. And don't cut your lawns too short. You never want to remove more than 1/3 of the leaf area at a time. This is an example of information that's available on our website to guide you in successful lawn practices. This is the end of our presentation. Here on this slide, you'll find examples of ways to reach us if you need more information.